I didn't leave out until Wednesday this week, so it's a short week. Although it was a crazy week due to the weather that we had down in Texas and Arkansas, kind of threw a lot of things off balance. Let's talk about it in the vlog. There are times that seeing a flat line is a very bad thing, like on a heart monitor. But when you see it on your hours of service, it means that you have taken the day off. That can be a very good thing. I needed a few days off. When I planned to take these days off, how did I know there'd be a bad storm that would cause me not to be able to deliver on Wednesday when I went out? On Wednesday, I was deviated from my original plan of going to Arkansas, Houston, San Antonio, and Laredo. Instead, I had to drop that load in Duluth, Georgia, pick up another load in Atlanta, and bring that load to Greer, South Carolina. Like all of my trips, it started out with me bringing down all the stuff I needed to get the truck ready. Fresh linens, clean clothes, and of course the food for the trip. I like to get that bed made before I load all the good stuff in. I have all of my foods put together. I make jar salads to put inside of my refrigerator freezer. And then I go ahead and pack all my meat that I've packaged for this trip. Of course, some hard-boiled eggs, some cheese, some celery, mayonnaise, tuna fish, chicken, all that good stuff. My freezer that I have fits perfectly under. I have the Alpi-Cool T60. And then I have my pantry items. I've got some low-carb tortillas, some peppers, pickles, peanuts, all that good stuff. Got myself ready for this trip. When I left, I thought I had 4 stops in Arkansas and Texas, but it turned out they changed the plan. They wanted me to take this load to Duluth, Georgia. Gave me a call, told me to take it to Duluth Crown, where I took it to Duluth Crown. I was going to pick up a trailer that turned out not to be quite empty. It had a little bit of load in it, and then I was going to have to go down to Atlanta and pick up some more load to take on to Greer. Although I've only been trucking for just over a year and a half, I've spent a lot of time driving through Atlanta. Atlanta has got a lot of traffic, but today traffic was incredibly light and I was able to zip right through. Atlanta does not let big trucks go straight through on I-75. You have to take 285 around the loop, and then you can get back on 75 depending on which way you're coming from, or 85 or 20. In other words, they want to keep the big trucks out of the city. It always helps when you've been to a location before. It makes things that much easier. You know where you're supposed to dock at. So I was able to turn into the place, and I had an open dock. I went ahead and opened my doors and backed right up to that dock and waited for them to get my live load. This particular live load had 5 different bills of lading, as it was going 5 different places, but that's not a problem for me with less than a load. In this case, I'll be taking it to Greer, South Carolina, and they'll take care of it from there. Thanks to the magic of editing, we made it to Greer in no time flat. Had to wait for this driver to back his trailer in so that I could back my trailer into this first open hole. They like it if we put our trailers into an open dock when there is one available. That way they can offload them, split them up, put them on the trailers they're going to go to. Some of the docks can be a little tricky here, but this one right here is one of the easiest because it is the last dock. Got that trailer tucked in, and it was now time to park the truck, turn in my paperwork. I got my next loads paperwork, which was a load going to Fort Recovery, strictly a line haul load, going directly from Greer Terminal to the Fort Recovery Terminal. Those are easy ones to do. I'm very familiar with this path. It'll be an easy squeezy. I absolutely love driving through the mountains. Now, the first part of this driving through the mountains, it was nice and beautiful. The weather was great. The second part of driving through the mountains was just as beautiful, but for a whole different reason. We added snow to the mix, snow sitting on the ground. I love the look of snow on the ground as long as it's not on the road. Here's that snow I told you about. Doesn't this just look like a picture postcard or a calendar from back in the 60s or 70s? This is Kentucky. I'm just cruising right on through Kentucky. It's beautiful. The roads are clear. The trees look great on the side. Yeah, there's a little snow in the air, but nothing's sticking. Slightly right around freezing temperature outside. Again, it just looks absolutely breathtaking. These are the views that I love to have out my office window. And yes, this is my new office, the front of this truck. This window, this view, it changes all the time. If you're in office and you hate it, or you're in a cubicle, I'm telling you, this is the career for you. You should think about it and do it. I'm so glad I made the move and got the heck out of the office. I like to say even a bad day of trucking is better than a good day in the office. Friday, one of the dispatchers seemed to think that I was a city driver, driving one of them day cabs. I bounced all around Indiana and came back to Fort Recovery by the end of the day. I'm an OTR driver. I like driving down the road and sleeping behind the seat. Coming back to the fort every night is not something that I would look forward to. This would be a great gig running all over Indiana for somebody who lives in Ohio or Indiana. I made one of those rookie mistakes. I turned down the cleared off driveway that led back to the building where this building was at, where the location I was trying to deliver was at, only to find out that was not the location. The location, you turn left on this snow-covered road, follow this snow-covered road around behind that original building, and that's where the docks are. Good thing I know how to use reverse. When driving on uncertain roads or driveways, it's of course a good idea to go very, very slow, but also to lock in the power differential lock and flip that off-road button. It makes it just a little bit easier when you slip or slide, which you will slip and slide. Going back here, I slipped and slid a few times, and I just took it nice and slow. There were also a couple potholes I had not seen because they were under the snow, and they had cleared it out for the most part. Backing down the dock was a little bit slippery as it had frozen over, but I managed to make it happen. This company makes electric vehicles. They actually assemble electric vehicles there. There were some UPS electric trucks there, as well as several other workhouse electric trucks that were being in the process of being assembled. I was actually delivering lithium-ion batteries to them via a diesel truck. Docking when it's slippery out is definitely something that you have to be very careful doing, especially when you're not sure. I had gotten out and checked this dock situation out. I made sure that there wasn't going to be too many issues with backing down the ramp. It had been cleared of snow, but there was ice. So it did make it a little bit more treacherous backing down in here. You have to also remember when you leave, you're going to be lighter than you were going in, so there's going to be less weight on your drives, which could present a problem coming out of the downhill slope that the dock has. But in this case, I was able to get out without too much difficulty. Being from the Ohio area, I do know what snow is, and I do know how it has to be removed. When I was a kid, I shoveled more than my share of snow. However, living in the South for quite a long time, I kind of forget, about having to actually shovel snow, plow snow, what you do with the snow, because in Georgia, that stuff doesn't stick around. Look at the mountains of snow from having to clear that out. Man, when I was a kid, I'd have had a lot of fun on that mountain of snow. We could have made a fort on one and a fort on the other and had a snowball fight. Anyway, I continued down the road looking at all these beautiful sights. Look at the sky as the sunset is getting ready to happen. You can see that color out there at the very edges. I love the look of the snowy covered landscape. Dispatch gave me a load that was going to Laredo, Texas. It was already loaded and ready to go. I still had a couple hours on my clock, so I went ahead and got down the road. Fort Recovery is not located close to an interstate, so it takes a little bit of country highway driving to get away from the fort, and that always slows you down. So I wanted to get as much time on the road as I could, and I went ahead and exhausted my clock, found a place to shut down and spend the night. On Saturday, I set another record. I got 731.8 miles in a single drive shift. This is my personal best in a single drive shift. Although I have had 801 in a single 24-hour day, not in a single drive shift. And you do this by keeping the left door closed and keeping rolling. It was definitely a great day. I saw a lot of snow-covered sides of the road. Again, the roads themselves were clear. Can you believe this is Arkansas? Yes, this snow-covered road is in Arkansas. This is not someplace that's used to seeing this kind of snow. And I went down to Texas where I saw snow going into Texas. You don't usually see a lot of snow on the roads or side of the road going into Texas. Now, I heard the storm was pretty bad. A lot of places didn't have water when I was down there, but it was not bad on the roads and traveling when I was there. Somehow I got lucky and I missed the storm. I'm not complaining, mind you. I like missing storms. And that's going to wrap up the vlog. I'm learning to use this program. It's called Final Cut Pro 10 on the Mac. I'm learning to use it a little better each week, and I hope to get better at making these videos as my vlog continues. Next week, we're going to be looking at Texas, seeing some of Arkansas and Texas's weather and what it looks like after the weather. And we're going to get a chance to see Dallas and Laredo and Arkansas. Look forward to seeing you there. Thanks for the feedback and appreciate the comments. Remember to like, subscribe, and follow.